J.D. Salinger, the author of The Catcher in the Rye, became one of the most famous writers of his time, but instead of capitalizing on his success, he decided to hide away from it. While he hid from the world, he continued to write, but never published anything significant after 1963, nearly 50 years before his death. Many writers long to be published, as if once their work is out there, they will get the recognition that they so desperately deserve. Yet Salinger is a reminder that the pursuit of writing need not be a means for anything but the words written, as taking a breath need not be anything more than the means of being alive. Writers write because they have to, not because they need to supply the market. As we trudge towards our goals of reaching a greater, wider audience, we must also acknowledge those who have achieved fame and lost the taste for this external expression, reminding us that maybe the destination isn't what we'd expect, but the personal craft is still worth pursuing. Here are 10 quotes from the reclusive author that showed us that sharing our work is an intimate gift that we get to decide whether it's worth doing or not. If only you'd remember before you ever sit down to write that you've been a reader long before you were ever a writer. You simply fix that fact in your mind and then sit very still and ask yourself, as a reader, what piece of writing in all the world Buddy Glass would most want to read if he had his heart's choice? The next step is terrible, but so simple I can hardly believe it as I write it. You just sit down shamelessly and write the thing yourself. I won't even underline that. It's too important to be underlined. An artist's only concern is to shoot for some kind of perfection, and on his own terms, not anyone else's. I don't suppose a writing man ever really gets rid of his old crocus yellow neckties. Sooner or later, I think, they show up in his prose, and there isn't a hell of a lot he could do about it. You can't argue with someone who believes, or just passionately suspects, that the poet's function is not to write what he must write, but rather to write what he would write if his life depended on his taking responsibility for writing what he must in a style designed to shut out as few of his old librarians as humanly possible. There is a marvelous peace in not publishing. It's peaceful. Still, publishing is a terrible invasion of my privacy. I like to write. I live to write. But I write just for myself and my own pleasure. I don't necessarily intend to publish posthumously, but I do like to write for myself. I pay for this kind of attitude. I'm known as a strange, aloof kind of man, but all I'm doing is trying to protect myself and my work. What I like best is a book that's at least funny once in a while. What really knocks me out is a book that, when you're all done reading it, you wish the author that wrote it was a terrific friend of yours, and you could call him up on the phone whenever you felt like it. That doesn't happen much though. Poets are always taking the weather so personally. They're always sticking their emotions in things that have no emotions. If you do something too good, then after a while, if you don't watch it, you start showing off, and then you're not as good anymore. Some stories, my property, have been stolen. Someone's appropriated them. It's an illicit act. It's unfair. Suppose you had a coat you liked, and somebody went into your closet and stole it. That's how I feel. There's no more to Holden Caulfield. Read the book again. It's all there. Holden Caulfield is only a frozen moment in time. Thank you for watching. If you have a favorite Salinger quote, please let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. For more videos on writing and the creative process, don't forget to subscribe.